Hi everyone, I'm up at the Hope Centre. It's coming along quite good. We've got a lot of legal problems. There's a lot of special circumstances here happening here, and these old buildings and stuff. The bureaucracy and stuff surrounding them needs to be broken down, so NGOs can come in and do the hotels up and spend money. And while they're here spending money, doing hotels up and bringing their teams in to look after refugees and stuff, they'll be in hotels, they'll be renting cars, they'll be eating food in restaurants. And that's something, we've got to get together, the Greek government, and we've really got to get together and bring all these people that want to help Greece into Greece, because the EU is not helping Greece, the European Commission, they're not helping. We really need the help people to come in and and do up old buildings and things, and if this finishes, then we got a lot of good buildings done up. Let the NGOs come in and pay electricians and plumbers to do them up, and let them spend their money doing all these old buildings up. It just needs a bit of legislation, and it can be done, and it can start moving the Greek economy, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, what I've come to talk about mainly is this is a Waha tent that was on Limanjiki Beach. There's all the bent poles, the guidelines were cut, there's a few rips in it, we can get them stitched up. Waha brought it to me. Waha's the French doctors, magic team. They had another tent. These tents cost a lot of money. They had another tent burnt down on Eftelu Beach. Not good, not good. There is another tent down there destroyed as well, I've been told. The Helias lifeguards have gone down. They were looking after that beach, and they've gone down to Mytilene. They left the tents up, and the night they actually went down, there's a load of stuff stolen, and then they wrecked the tents as well. This has to stop. This rhetoric and the abuse and the threats, and that it needs to stop. The last Friday, we had a meeting down at Kaima. The meeting was fantastic. A lot of teams came to the meeting. It was basically the North Shore and the rescue boats out here all got together and discussing what will happen if it comes again, because the EU-Turkey deal is breaking down, and the meeting was fantastic. But after the meeting, I had an official came chatting to me, and he said to me, "Eric, how do you deal with the Foreus?" I said, "I don't." He said, "Well, I've tried to have negotiations with him." He didn't say what or why, but he said one particular guy who was Foreus, he had a meeting with, I think it might have been the head, I don't know who the head is, or I think I know, but anyway, he said there's just no negotiating with him. He said they just think of themselves. They don't think of the town, they don't think of the people, they just think of themselves. This official was Greek. I said, "Welcome to my world." I've had this problem with these people for over a year. The Foreus, as I've told people before, they're the associations that run the town here. The head of the Tourist Association, the head of the Football Association, it's all the associations, the Hoteliers Association, Catering Association, etc., etc. They call this group the Foreus, and they rule. They rule big time. We've discussed this before, time and time again. Anyway, I said to him, honestly, I don't know how I can help you, but these people are the same. We've had problems with them for over a year, and it won't stop. Last year we had a lot of threats coming in. A lot of volunteers were threatened. A lot of tourists were threatened. This situation was bad. It's bad enough trying to deal with it, trying to help people and trying to save lives, and trying to give a bit of respect and a bit of help to people that are really suffering coming out of war zones. If you've seen some of the sights we've seen, shrapnel in people's sides and chlorine burns and things like this, some really horrific sights coming out. and then you have this behind you all the time threatening. You know, I had my car tires slit, and I've had, you know, even the other week, all this winter I've had threats, but the other week, you know, there was a crowd coming out to hang me and my wife. I've had to put my daughter away into England. You know, they want to rape my daughter, they want to slit my throat. This is a constant threats coming out of here. This is wrong. This is absolutely disgusting. Destroying medical tents is wrong. Destroying any tent out here is wrong. These tents are put in a position to help people. Threatening tourists was very wrong last year. You know, the next video from this one I'm putting on. I'm actually have a one of the tourists that came last year. He came back again. Nice guy. Worth listening to. Anyway, after this meeting, and the next day, someone came to me and said, did you know the IRC camp out on the dirt track tried to get 100, there's 100 minors inside Moria, unaccompanied children. They put a load, 70 odd, out into the Madi Mados camp, and Maison Frontier looking after them. Fair play there. Anyway, the IRC, you know, they would have took 100 into the camp, which is 6.5 kilometers out of that headland there. But I was told the 4As said no. They will not have unaccompanied children out there. I was told the excuse was if the refugees come again. I mean, they're still coming. We've had 6 boats in the last couple of weeks. If they come again, we need the camp for that. But it is a transit camp. You know, people are wandering through, and at the moment, it could take 3 or 4 weeks before they come. To let the 100 miners out there wouldn't hurt anyone, and it'd be good to know that the town's doing something. What I do not understand, why the town's not run by a council, why it's run by this unelected body, self-appointed body, I should say, of people on these associations, and the damage and the mistakes they've made last year was incredible, and they're still doing it now. You know, I don't know what to say about this body. I really do not. You know, I've seen it, I've heard it, I've had the threats. You know, I've been told we run the town, you do what you're told to do, and things like this. I don't understand why the mayor of the island's not running the island, running this town. I don't understand why there isn't a council within the town that's running it. Most probably if there was a council, these people would take the jobs anyway. I don't know. But the damage they've done is unbelievable. And if this kicks off again, which is more likely will do, the damage, if they carry on doing what they did last year by threatening tourists and stuff, you know, because we've lost all of our regulars because they were very disillusioned, they were threatened big time, and some of them have been coming 20 years. Yesterday I had another 3 people that always come here. They've been coming here twice a year for years. They said they're not coming this year. You know, if these people ruling this town carry on, I mean, the way they're going, the threats and everything else, there will be no tourism in this town for many, many years. You know, I don't know, the mentality doesn't, I can't get my head around it, because they know where the problem lies, and they're making excuses saying it's volunteers, it's the problem isn't, it's refugees, the problem isn't, it's NGOs, the problem is, and they're blaming everyone else except for their self because they're abuse towards human beings. You know, it is a tourist town, it should be looking after human beings. Yeah, it's a hard one, but I know if they carry on the way they have the last year, and the refugees come again, and the abuses carry on, believe me, we will all might as well just sell our businesses and go. Maybe that's what they want, these few people. Maybe they want the town to themselves, I don't know. But I know, you know, all around Greece there's people with massive hearts and they're helping, and, you know, these people getting involved in helping. And what I've seen here has been very, very wrong. There's amazing, fantastic people in the town, but they need to stand up to these few and stop the abuse that these few have done and everything else. Had a lady came here yesterday morning, no, day before yesterday. She actually works out in the camp, in the IRC camp, and she said, Eric, the threats have been going on for over a month out there, and the last threat was they're coming out with shotguns. So the IRC closing down, well, not closing down completely, but they're pulling away quite a lot. The 1st of July, I was told. This is a transit camp. It would do amazing good out there. I wouldn't, if it came like last year, which if it comes this year, I think it'd be a lot more. But if it comes, that camp would take a lot of pressure off. We had it last year where you have people here helping. We're trying our best to solve a problem. And you get this constant abuse from these few. Like last year they said it was better to have them outside the car park than in the car park of the school behind the bus stop. And we all know what that done. You couldn't even drive into the village. You had to come in at 2 miles an hour because there's people sleeping on the roads and the smell and the rubbish. It was just unbelievable. The idea of the Alpes Hotel here, the Hope Centre, is to, if this happens again and comes again, hopefully we can deal with something here and keep it out of the town. But the town doesn't want it, these few, anything to do with refugees we're not going to have, and like was said the other week, drown 200 at sea and we won't have them here again. Get out there with loudspeakers on boats and push them round to Mytilene or push them into Scala. We don't want them anywhere near Molivos. This constant rhetoric is disgusting. Push them into Petra. Put them in the army camp in Petra. We don't want them here. This constant rhetoric is so disgusting. It's unbelievable. And this is doing this town so much damage. And these people are so powerful and so, they think, it's everyone else, not them doing the damage. But you've done a lot of damage and you're carrying on doing the damage, threatening people and everything else, and it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. This is not anyone's fault. This is coming, the fault is the bombing, it's the EU, it's the rest of the world. And it's coming here and we have to deal with it. And we have to deal with it the best way we can. And threatening tourists and threatening people that are helping save lives is so disgusting, it's unbelievable. And then you say, our tourists are down this year, It's those bloody volunteers, it's the aid agencies, it's the refugees. No, because Mytilene's doing all right, other places are doing all right. And a bit of common sense, we could not just do all right, we could do bloody well, by bringing the aid agencies in, bringing the volunteers in, helping the refugees, bringing the money in, because volunteers have to stay somewhere, they need a hotel, they have to eat, they have to hire cars. It's better than nothing, and I've said this time and time again. My daughter wrote a song, and she said in this song, craziness can be medicated. What was the other one? It was something else, but she said there's no cure for stupid. What a saying. I need a t-shirt for this one. Anyway, if it comes again, we've got to handle it. Hopefully we get help from the EU this time. We get help from the European Commission this time rather than abuse. Hopefully there'll be a lot of common sense. There's a lot of good people in this town, and we really have to get our act together in this town. Otherwise we've lost our tourism. Full stop. The people out here, even myself, believe it or not, has been trying to help this town constantly, and all I get is death threats. All I get is, they want to rape my daughter, slit my wife's throat, slit my throat, hang us. And we've been really doing our best trying to help this town, and it's constant abuse, time and time and time again. This is disgusting. The racism has to stop. This is a tourist town. We should be looking after. There's a lot of good people in this town. Stand up. I keep saying stand up to these people. You have to stand up and stop the abuses here. You have to change something if you want to save your town. and it's only you can do it. You know, it's only you can do it. I know I won't be living around here forever because of the abuses and the what's gone on towards me and my family. But all we've done is tried our best for the town. Believe it or not, we really have tried our best for this town. I've promoted the town. I've done everything I can, but still, I get abuse. And every time I put something on, they say, "Yeah, you shouldn't be doing that. You know, you've given the town bad publicity and everything else." But it's okay for people to threaten to murder me and my family and hang us and threaten tourists and slit car tires. You know, the amount of car tires done by was done into NGOs, and that in the winter was incredible. That's okay. But yeah, okay. Something needs to be done. I know I've had enough of these threats and that, and the damage these people are doing to my family and everything else, because I've been trying to help and save lives and look after children and women. And it just stinks. It absolutely stinks. The evil is just really massive amongst these few people. And it does need sorting out, and it's only the town, the good people of the town, that can do it. Okay, all the best, everyone. Bye.